Were you nervous? Are you one of these guys that wants that ball in that situation, or are you one of these guys that quick pass it off to somebody else?
Well,
you look pretty confident to me.
Well, that particular shot has pretty much my whole career in it. At one time in my...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God, I have no idea.
Yeah.
The celebration was as San Antonio could get. Thousands and thousands grasping every bit of the fiesta that took 26 years to take place. And boy, it was sweet. Jaren Jackson probably contracted whiplash from shaking his head so much. Malik Rose slapped 5 with everyone within reach. Tim Duncan had that grin on his face. Then they took it over to the Dome, where it was time for AJ and David to shine, just as they had in that building so many times before.
When I came here 10 years ago, one of the reasons I came here is because y'all had a tradition. The name I knew was George Gervin. I knew a little bit about an artist Gilmore and a Johnny Moore. I knew a little bit about Mike Mitchell and the Blues Brothers. I want to thank those guys for laying that foundation for us here in San Antonio. They're part of this championship. Thank you.
I just want to ask you a question. Did the Lakers win the championship? Did the Portland Trail Blazers win the championship? All right, I think I got it right. Did the Utah Jazz win the championship? Hey, for the Utah Jazz, it's all right. Say hell no. I just want to ask you a question. I've been waiting 11 years for this, and some of y'all been waiting longer. But did the San Antonio Spurs win the championship?
It was perhaps the happiest day ever in San Antonio. Of course, there was that night, Friday, June the 25th, around 10:50 p.m., when Avery Johnson gave the Spurs the lead with a jumper from the corner with 47 seconds to go. Followed 5 minutes later by the defense stepping up one last time, denying Latrell Sprewell and securing the first ever NBA championship for the Spurs and the city of San Antonio. Downtown suddenly transformed into Times Square at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. The party was on.
It's an absolutely incredible experience. And Kobe, can you believe they're already talking about repeat? Let's enjoy this one for a while. Avery Johnson. I love Sean's reaction. He says, I'm all worn out. I blew my fuse when I came in the locker room.
And of course, there was a bit of celebrating going on back in a small locker room in the Big Apple. San Antonio TV stations followed the Spurs closely during the course of the playoffs, and once the finals hit, it was an all-out media blitz. However, that was nothing compared to the night the Spurs won it all. TV coverage lasted well into the morning and continued when the Spurs arrived to about 20,000 screaming fans.
This is unbelievable. My heart is beating 1,000 times a minute. And we just want to thank each and every one of you. You, each and every one of you, everybody. We love y'all.
And of course, it was lights, camera, action for all Spurs TV on that hot yet beautiful Sunday afternoon when the team was paraded through the Riverwalk and then capped the season at the Dome. Did you really read all about it? Headlines screamed, writers picked the finals apart, and any way they analyzed it, the Spurs were the best team in the NBA. No doubt about it, right? The club added several key new faces in hopes of bringing a championship attitude to a team that was full of potential, yet had come up short of their goal. The adjustment period was a frustrating ordeal for players and fans alike. However, when it clicked, we heard it. The date was March the 2nd, and the opponent was the rival of rivals for the Spurs, the Houston Rockets. After a crushing loss to Utah only 2 days earlier in the Dome, it was time for the Spurs to do a gut check. Boy, did they respond. Tim Duncan snapped out of a funk, scoring 23 points and pulling 14 rebounds. Avery Johnson put up 18 with 13 assists, and Mario Elie returned to Compact Center and stuck his old teammates with 15 points.
Out to Mario Elie. Three-pointer Mario. Bang! Mario Elie with another three. He's got all the threes.
When the smoke had cleared, the Spurs had crushed their I-10 rivals 99-82. The march was on. Did someone say March? A 14-2 mark during the month shot San Antonio from 4th place in the Midwest to 2nd, just a game and a half behind the Utah Jazz. In 1 month, the 6-8 start became a distant memory. The Spurs surge also helped bring the fans back into the fold. After having to wait out the lockout, Spurs fans would be rewarded for being so faithful for so many years.
You know, the fans were the ones who were hurt, and they were kind of the third party that were hurt by this whole deal. The owners and the players were hurt, but they're going to get compensated. But the fans, the heart and soul of what we're doing, we have to earn that respect back from the men.
But let me tell you now, there are prices to pay. All right. All of our time spent in flashes of light. All you people, can't you see how your love's affecting our reality? Every time we're down, you can make it right, and that makes you larger than life.
Some victories in March came via the blowout. Just ask the Nuggets, who lost consecutive games to the Spurs by a combined 49 points. Then there were the squeakers, especially on March the 12th in Phoenix. The Spurs had flirted with defeat, squandering away a 16-point lead going into the fourth quarter. When Jason Kidd's errant shot eventually found its way to the basket, the Spurs' current 5-game winning streak looked tenuous at best. That is until Sean Elliott came to the rescue. Elliott's going to have a good look here to win the game. Good! Yes. The Spurs win the game!
Oh, my goodness.
Sean Elliott saves the overtime and wins it in regulation. At the time, that huge shot at the America West Arena signified the comeback of Sean Elliott. After surgeries to repair chronic tendonitis in both quads, there were questions as to whether the two-time All-Star would ever be the same. In 1999, there was no denying Sean Elliott. The trademark explosive first step was back, and he was strong enough to create and bury the jumper late in the game. After playing just 76 games over a 2-year period, Elliott did not miss a single game.
Sean Elliott was really our most important acquisition last year. If you think of it in terms of him not being there the 2 previous years because of injury, his ability to shoot, to play defense, to break people down, was really important for us to have the season we had and the playoffs that we had. He's a very special young man who has gone through a lot and really proven himself to be a big-time winner.
DJ gets it, goes to Sean, baseline 3, bang!
We know the Spurs took home their 10th Midwest Division championship, jumping several hurdles and adapting like they've never adapted before. Of course, we're referring to David Robinson, the Admiral, the former MVP and scoring champion, one of the top 50 players in the history of the NBA.
David Robinson is one of the most selfless players and people that I've ever been around. he still maintains top quality play. He does it with class. He cares only about winning and his teammates, and he sets an example for anybody in sport to follow. Without him, we don't get to this point.
David Robinson finally achieved what everyone thought he deserved. Nice guys can finish first. However, it wasn't just a prize for Big Dave. There were others who had a long journey to the NBA title, namely Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson. Big hoop for Avery Johnson.
Yeah, you talk about the true poetic justice. Here's a guy, all his career been told you're not going to be able to play. I mean, in high school and college, and never had a multi-year contract until the last time he was with the Spurs when Pop signed him to a 3-year contract. And now not only does he take us to the finals, but he makes the game-winning shot. I mean, it still gives me goosebumps to talk about it.
He is truly the little general. He has given us a basis for always believing that we can do things if we just keep working at it, and he has been really special in that regard.
His performance on the court was always passionate. Avery was 4th on the team in scoring with just under 10 points a game, and he doled out nearly 7.5 assists an outing. He gave the team fire and leadership. Avery also helped the team improve their chemistry by persuading his friend, Mario Elie, to join the Spurs. The former Houston Rocket Elie brought a certain edge to the Spurs, a bit of attitude, a bit of swagger that had been missing. Mario Elie proved nightly that he could put his money where his mouth is, especially when it came to playing his old teammates. The Spurs' biggest rivals were putting an absolute hurt on the Silver and Black, outscoring San Antonio 31-13 in the first quarter and taking as much as a 23-point lead. All that in front of a stunned, packed Alamo Dome and a national TV audience. It looked grim. Then, with the poise of a heavyweight champion, the Spurs had taken their punches. Now it was time to return the favor. The defense, led by David Robinson's 14 rebounds and 3 steals, helped the Spurs to pull within 4 at the half. Sean Elliott would put the clamps on Scottie Pippen, holding the forward to just 6 points on only 5 field goal attempts in 35 minutes. But it was Mario's time to shine when the clock was winding down. Having already connected on 3 3-pointers, it was time for the knockout blow.
Johnson driving, Avery out to David. David and Mario Elie for a 3. Bang! It is going to be over. There's only .1.
That win capped one of the most dramatic comebacks in team history. It would be the 3rd win in a 7-game win streak, and it would be the perfect start to one of the most challenging weeks ever.
No matter what happens with the other team, we got to have that same boldness tonight for 48 minutes in Jesus' name. Amen. What's our goal for this year?
In order for the Spurs to climb to the top spot in the Western Conference, in 1 week, they would have to beat the Blazers, the Rockets, the Jazz, and the Lakers. With Portland and Houston already disposed of, all the Spurs had to do now was beat the Jazz in Salt Lake City, where they had not won since 1996, and then defeat the Lakers, who had beaten San Antonio all 6 times in the Tim Duncan era. Piece of cake, huh? At the Delta Center, the defense was as relentless as ever, holding the Jazz to 35% shooting. Tim Duncan exploded for a season-high 36 as the Spurs stunned the Jazz on their home court 83-69. There's Duncan baseline. Dunks it before anybody could stop him. AJ stole another. The defense is going to win the game for the Spurs tonight. 4 nights later, the Lakers came calling and probably wished they had never made the trip. LA stepped into the San Antonio buzzsaw where the D was supplemented by a lot of O. Duncan 21, Robinson 16, Elliott 14, Johnson 13, and a sign of things to come in this postseason. Jaren Jackson hit 3 threes and finished with 12. The Lakers took a resounding thumping in front of a fiesta crowd of 32,000. Final score, the Spurs 108, the Lakers 81. It was on. The Spurs had proved to themselves and the rest of the league that they were no longer giant killers. They were now the Giants. do that, Sharif. He'll take the nets off. Here come the Spurs. Antonio all the way in for a rip. That'll work. That will work. This team was the product of Greg Popovich and his staff. The pitfall of coaching is that you're always going to take the blame and seldom get the praise. Little did we know it at the time, but a 6-8 start would add to the character of this team and reflect the demeanor of Pop, who never got too low when the chips were down and never got too high when the team triumphed, knowing there was still a lot to prove.
Pop absolutely is a guy that I believe in. The team believes in, and he's a great coach and a great general manager. If you think about it, he's the guy that put this team together.
Well, Pop means a lot to the team because Pop brought a mindset and an edge to this team. You know, we were always a pretty good scoring team. We always won a lot of games, but Pop just gave us an extra edge, you know, especially defensively.
Part of what Pop created was an understanding of roles. Sure, we know about David and Tim. However, Pop had to create the proper mix of Steve Kerr, Jerome Kersey, Jaren Jackson, and Will Perdue, all of whom know the ropes of the league. On the other end of the spectrum, Pop had to manage those with little NBA experience, like Andrew Gaze, Gerard King, and Brandon Williams. Then there was the seasoning of Antonio Daniels and the emergence of Malik Rose. Sure, marketing departments drool over Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and deservedly so. But to see Malik Rose in action was an absolute joy.
Malik down the lane to the goal, lays it in, and he's fouled. Count it.
His all-out hustle, his constant encouragement from the bench, the fact that he genuinely looked to be loving every moment of every game endeared Malik to the fans of San Antonio. Oh, and Malik could change the attitude of a game. Whether he would come off the bench and score 22, like he did at Philadelphia, or crash the boards, or just crash, period, Malik was a surge of energy every night. Night in and night out, Tim Duncan would modestly put up monster numbers. How did he do it?
Duncan, hand in his face, does not matter. Drives it home off the bank.
In a flash, Tim would put up his 22 points and 11 rebounds.
It really is, as SI stated, substance over style. He really does have a true, basic love of the game, and it's his own style. And in that sense, I think that it's a better style than anybody else has.
Tim would get the predictable number of awards: All-NBA First Team All-NBA Defense, and was a debatable third in the MVP balloting. All of that typically didn't seem to faze the second-year star. The ultimate award would be the Larry O'Brien Trophy, given to multiple players, the NBA champions.
San Antonio in the dome, bring it on. Wiki wow, wiki wow. Wiki wow, wow, wow. Boom! It's showtime, y'all. The Spurs are in the house playing basketball. Everyone's hot for the black and silver. The mighty Twin Towers will deliver. You can't go wrong when Sean is on. Jumping over players like they was pawns. Now who you gonna call? Not the GPs. Who you gonna call? All the big T's. David, Duncan, Little General, too. Elliot, and the Bum Rush crew. They're from the Wild Wild West. We getting down at the Wild Wild West. Raising the roof with the Wild Wild West. Much love to the Wild Wild West. We're representing the Wild Wild West. The Bulldogs from the Wild Wild West. The Ninjas from the Wild Wild West. Tim Duncan from the Wild Wild West. David Robinson. Come on. Three-point shout. I'm fighting style.
With the regular season now in the past and the home court advantage secured, it was time for the real journey to begin. The first round opponent, the young and dangerous Minnesota Timberwolves. The Spurs started with a solid effort. Duncan went for 26 and 12, and AJ, already showing his determination, scored 21 to go along with 10 assists. The Spurs took the early edge with a 99-86 victory. For the Spurs, that would be their last loss to a Western Conference opponent this season. What followed was legendary. In fact, it was historical. Behind the inspired play of Avery Johnson and a defense which suffocated the T-Wolves, the Spurs awoke and advanced to the second round with just one blemish. Those who were nervous about the Spurs' chances only had to look to the Lakers for more worries. The ominous threat of Shaquille O'Neal and the athletic prowess of Kobe Bryant, plus the sharpshooting of Glenn Rice, made LA a prime candidate for the finals. However, the Spurs had other plans. For some reason, the Lakers opted not to double-team Tim Duncan. He scored 25, and LA clanked to the tune of 38% of their shots. 87-81, Spurs win. Game 2 might have been tight, but Pop's team had all the right answers. David Robinson matched Shaq with 16 points. Kobe Bryant was the offensive force for LA. His 28th point of the night pulled the Lakers to within one. However, it was Tim Duncan who provided the clincher.
Duncan with 8.4 to go.
The series now moved on to LA, where the Spurs had not won in 2 years. But that would not be a problem, as Tim Duncan absolutely dominated Game 3. Even with teammates fighting foul trouble and now facing more double teaming, Duncan went for a career-high 37 points and added 14 rebounds. Jaren Jackson came along for the ride as well, giving the team a perimeter presence by scoring 22 points off 9 of 15 shooting.
Downloaded Tim Duncan. Back to JJ. He shoots a three. Bang!
This game was marked by scoring runs all afternoon. Again, O'Neal, Rice, and Bryant put up gaudy numbers for LA. However, Shaq could not buy a free throw, and the Spurs made one final run and cruised past the Lakers 103-91. The next day, it was all over. LA just couldn't keep the pace. Can you believe that? The mega-hyped Lakers couldn't keep the pace. Again, it was the Tim Duncan, Jaren Jackson show as they combined for 53 points. The Spurs shot an incredible 60% from the floor, and the Lakers took their beating. The Spurs had swept the Lakers and were now going to the Western Conference Finals to face the Portland Trail Blazers. For the 5th time in team history, the Spurs were in the conference finals, and all of San Antonio had their game faces on. David Robinson shot out of the gate strong for 21 points and 10 rebounds and paced the Spurs defense, which recorded 7 blocks and 6 steals.
And while the Blazers may have been a bit frustrated, they never gave in, especially Rasheed Wallace, who was a threat both inside and out with a game-high 28 points. As they had done all season, the Spurs defense rose to the occasion one more time, and Wallace's last shot, one that could have tied the game, failed. The Alamo Dome crowd went home happy. San Antonio prevailing 80-76.
With the Spurs up 1 game to none in this best-of-7 series, they look to have blown the home court advantage on this Memorial Day afternoon, falling behind by 18. Yet on this day, they never gave up and plodded along, seemingly always staying within 6 points. That is, until the final minute and a half of the game. Sean Elliott had already put in a solid game, but it was about to get better. His 5th tray, with 57 seconds left, brought the Spurs to within 2. Then, with just 9 seconds remaining, at 7:08 p.m., the Spurs' destiny became clear.
Into Sean Elliott. He fires the three and hits it! His 6th of the game! What a shot! Bob, it looked like he was going to step out of bounds. He caught it and tight-roped the sideline. What a shot!
La pintura para ganar o para empatar. Elliott recibe. Sean de 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. Sean Elliott ha pegado una bomba de 3 puntos. Sean Elliott Quedan 9 segundos.
I got $100 right now for seeing him make the same shot again.
I can do it again right now. Yeah, I'm still feeling it. You know, I kind of jokingly told the guys that I had one more left in the gun, so, you know, I just, you know, why not?
It will go down as one of the most clutch shots in the history of NBA playoff basketball. And what it did for San Antonio was set off a frenzy the city had never known before. No matter where you went, no matter where you turned, the city echoed the same sentiment. Go, Spurs, go!
Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go! Go, Spurs, go!
The next two games seemed to be a mere formality for Spurs fans. Once again, Jaren Jackson sparked the Spurs by unconsciously knocking down 6 3-pointers for an 85-63 final score. The Fiesta plans were now in the making. It happened again on a late Sunday afternoon, the product of a relentless defense.
Blocked away by Robinson.
A second-year player who was unstoppable, and a cast of players who filled their roles beautifully. It was a wild ride to get there, but they did. The Spurs had won the West. It was the dream that every Spurs fan had always dreamed. Now it was reality. The San Antonio Spurs were in the NBA Finals. Their opponents, the surging New York Knickerbockers, featuring Latrell Sprewell. The ultimate Spurs party was on.
Knicks are going down, baby!
I knew you before the West was won. And I heard you say, go, Spurs, go! You go your way, I go mine. But I'll see you next time. It's all been done. It's all been done. It's all been
The atmosphere was electric, the anticipation intense, and the Game 1 nerves took their toll on the Spurs early. Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell got the Knicks running and gunning in the first quarter. New York scored 27 points in the period, and they led by 6 at the end of the first.
The first quarter is way too early to get too excited about anything, whether you're up or down. The NBA game is forever, and that's just not a time to get too excited about anything.
But the Spurs got it going in the second. The big guys got aggressive. Tim putting it on the floor, and he gets the leaner to fall. And Jaren Jackson began what would be a huge night for him with this three-pointer. And then the game would turn late in the second quarter. The Spurs on a 14-2 run. David finds Tim for the easy layup. Then off the break, it's AJ to Antonio Daniels, and the Spurs went into the locker room up by 8 points. The second half then belonged to Duncan. With his friends from the Virgin Islands watching, TD was unstoppable, leading the Spurs to a 10-point lead. Jaren Jackson was just as impressive, throwing in a wild three-pointer to keep the Spurs up by 9. And then he also delivered the knockout punch later in the fourth. What started as an ugly beginning turned into a fantastic finish for Spurs and their fans.
It's tough for them just because they are hurt, but they're a very physical team, and those guys can do a job on us on any given night. So we're just going to have to keep playing hard through it, and even when they beat us up, we're going to find ways to get it done.
I feel it coming back again, like a rolling thunder chasing the wind, forces pulling from the center of the earth. I can feel it.
Game 1 was under the Spurs' belt, and with that win, nervousness gave way to optimism.
When will they ever learn? All the pretty boys out here, they want to go in there and throw one down on the big guys. That is not going to happen here. Allen Houston, ill-advised shooting. Latrell Sprewell trying to get to the hoop. Nothing's working there. And then when Larry Johnson double pump, David Robinson sends it all right back.
While the Knicks were trying to turn the series around as Game 2 began, the Spurs were primed to turn out the lights on their chances. The early momentum belonged to San Antonio. Hard-driving basketball that has them eyeing their 12th consecutive win. The Knicks' effort was there, but the breaks for them were not.
It was sort of a strange game in the beginning, but you guys showed so much poise and concentration coming back in the second half.
Yeah, you know, it was ugly. When you got two defensive teams like that, you might end up shooting 20 and 30%, but the defense really kept us in there tonight, man. It was ugly. We couldn't get in the basket, but we made some great plays defensively.
And you yourself have made some great plays. You seem to do whatever is needed on this team for them to win.
I've really had to adjust to that all year, and the guys know that they get a big spark off of me when I can get a steal or a block, and so I really take a lot of pride in doing that for this guy.
All right, congratulations, David. We will see you next time.
All right.
Game 2 would be the last game played in the Alamo Dome this season. It was only appropriate that the crowd of 39,514 went home happy. It was time now to head to the Big Apple and settle the score.
New York is everything they say, and no place that I'd rather be. Where else can you do 500,000 things, all at 2:45? When they play their music,
it was not the same Spurs team we're used to seeing. The Knicks and their crowd seemed to throw the good guys completely off track.
Mario Ellie juggles it out of bounds.
I think it was just a little bit of a lapse, and we can't afford those kind of lapses. Our strength has been that we played 48 minutes of basketball and make the other team beat us, and we did not play 48 minutes of basketball tonight.
Allen Houston went for the kill. His 34 points lifted the Knicks to the 89-81 Game 3 win.
Yeah, Allen's a pain in the neck. He's a heck of a player. He did a great job tonight.
Hope to be a pain in the neck and unstoppable, and that's, if I'm not, that's how I think. And you know, sometimes you're going to have good nights, and I just want to be consistent.
We in for a dogfight. This is no sweep. This is the NBA Finals, and that's what people paying their money to see, and they're going to get a good show.
It was a fantastic run. 12 consecutive wins during the course of a single playoff year, a new NBA record. The Knicks were appropriately the toughest matchup for the Spurs during the course of the postseason. And now, after absorbing this loss, it was time for the Spurs to rebound. David Robinson said his team always responded to a loss. It was now time for this team to shine one more time.
The Knicks wanted to drop the Spurs in Game 4, so they called on their heavyweight Allen Houston. The star of Game 3 came out punching. It was a 1-2 combination with the aggressive style of Latrell Sprewell, giving the Spurs a good fight. But Tim Duncan knows how to throw his share of counter punches. Early in the third, the Spurs landed a flurry and went up 13.
We've been a very good team down the stretch throughout the season. I think we've developed that through experience.
This is something that you always welcome as a competitor, as an athlete. You know, we're not hanging our heads down. You know, we're looking forward to the challenge.
It's been the supporting cast for David Robinson and Tim Duncan tonight. Robinson and Duncan with 29, but Mario Ellie and Malik Rose off a miss from Jaren Jackson. Sean Elliott with a spot-up jump shot. These guys have been terrific tonight.
You know, I try not to think about it too much because we still got a lot of work to do, but you know, each game, you know, I was thinking we're 4 games away, we're 3 games away, we're 2 games away, we're 1 game away. You know, you get a little bit more excited, and you know, it's nice. It's nice. You know, right now, like I said, I try not to get myself too worked up because
because it's like, you know, it's still not done.
It's a one-game thing. Just want to knock them out.
The nervous tension that was in the air prior to that first playoff game versus Minnesota was also apparent before Game 5. This could be it. This could be the night of nights. Friday, June the 25th, was indeed the night of nights.
It's only fitting that the smallest guy on the team would hit the biggest shot of the NBA Finals.
I've heard so many people tell me we can't win a championship with Avery as our point guard. And, you know, I'm sure Avery's heard just as many people say that they can't win a championship with me at center. So it's satisfying.
I kind of passed up the one before, but Dave got a good look at the basket. And but I didn't want to pass up the next one.
With the Spurs trailing 77-76, the Knicks made the mistake many other teams have made in the playoffs. They left Avery Johnson wide open, and the little general made them pay big with the baseline shot with only 47 seconds left.
You got to know you're going to shoot it. Don't hesitate. Just shoot it, let it go, and get to the spots where you like to operate. And I got right there within 18 feet, which is where I like to operate, and it felt good.
It's open, lobs the goal, caught by Sprewell. Sprewell turns, shoots at the buzzer, and the pride of the great Lone Star State, the San Antonio Spurs, are NBA champions as Sprewell misses the shot, and the Spurs have wrapped it up. In 5 games, the San Antonio Spurs have won the NBA championship. They are the first ABA team to win an NBA crown, and they have done it.
This is just unbelievable.
It's been a long time coming.
It's awesome.
Jubilee, correct me if I'm wrong, we are the NBA champions.
You know, it's just a long season, a long 10 years, and just to get that championship, it's awesome.
Look at Dave and how he embraced the trophy all his years working, and look at Sean, and look at AJ, and, you know, Mario, he's like a seasoned pro at this, but it's just very gratifying.
It's incredible. We're having so much fun here. It's been a long haul, and people have been working so hard, and it's just great to get it done.
Congratulations on winning the title. I was giving you a hard time.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I tell you, it's been a long journey. 10 years in the league, and you know, I thought it was important to me till I got back to San Antonio, and there's 300,000 people in the stands.
Yeah.
They've been waiting 26 years, so they were happy. Well,
No,
nice.
that's great.
The San Antonio Spurs franchise has had many, many great moments, and there will be more to come. But the fiesta that was the 1999 championship season will last forever.
Enjoy it. Enjoy your championship, San Antonio. You're number one. Enjoy it, baby. Enjoy it.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Brought us one home, y'all. They brought us one home. Golly, I'm so proud of these guys. This is something special, man. It's something special for me, and I know it's something special for the city of San Antonio. These guys that brought us something that we've been working real hard for 26 years. These guys said they was gonna win one for the ABA and the old guys, and they did it, man. I am so elated.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.